Dosto Namaskar. Today we will talk about the Indo-China relationship and the Indo-China issue that has been burning in this time after the Galwan Valley annexation, where the Chinese troop invaded into the Indian territory in the Pangang Tso region and in the Galwan Valley on May 5, 2020. So, what is the basic issue and what is the basic relationship between the India and China? So both India and China are a flourishing civilization since the ancient period, but we both are very different from culturally, historically. The thing which connects both the India and China is the economic aspect, that is the trade. So we are the trading partners since the ancient period. Till now, the trade has been going on, and we are the like $85 billion trade we are doing between India and China as per 2019 data. But the trade is very skewed in favor of China because we are majorly importing from China rather than exporting to the China. We are importing for about $85 billion of the total trade. We are $65 billion we are importing from the China. So our trade is imbalanced and it is highly skewed in favor of the China. So after independence, the relationship in the initial first 5 years went smooth, and in 1954, India and China signed the Panchsheel Agreement to establish the peace in the border area. And after further internal disturbance that has been going in the China wanted to project itself as the superpower in the region. So the China, to improve its image, it's tried to keep on having a conflict in the border areas with the neighboring countries. So in 1962 we had a war where the China invaded the Ladakh region, and 1962 war was an utter defeat where Indian forces has been defeated and Aksai Chin has been taken by the China. After that, the skirmishes has been going on, but more or less the border with the China is peaceful compared to the Pakistan border. And the policy China has been projecting by Mao is the Mao's palm and the five-finger policy. What is this five-finger policy of Mao? It is basically that Tibet. That Tibet is the palm of the China, and the five fingers are: one is Ladakh, Nepal, Sikkim, Bhutan, and the Northeast Frontier Agency, which is also called as the Arunachal Pradesh. So China considers these five regions as its fingers. So it keep on having a border disturbances with these areas, so as to keep this area in a state of disorder. So these Chinese influences in the region has been increasing in these days. So this policy has been proposed by the Mao Zedong, and it has been keeping on going till recently. So what we have to do to counter this five-finger policy of China? So India needs to have a three-pronged strategy to counter this policy. What is this three-pronged policy? The first is that we have to improve our border areas. Especially we have to improve the border infrastructure and the border governance. In 1950s, when the China had an issue with our Northeast Frontier Agency, that is the Arunachal Pradesh, our central government proposed Indian Frontier Administrative Service. It is similar the kind of Indian Administrative Service and the Indian Foreign Service. So it is a kind of specifically service dedicated to the border area. So the border governance and the border development will be happening very rampantly. So we have a dedicated cadre of workers will be focusing to develop this infrastructure and the governance area. So this concept has been proposed, and earlier in 1950s. So this is not still in functioning, and we have to look into that separate cadre of services to improve the border areas. So developmental will happen, and our troop mobilization and everything can happen very fast. And the second thing is that we have to open up the treaties and engagement with the neighborhoods. Like we have a good relationship with the Bhutan, but the other neighborhood like Nepal, Sri Lanka, Myanmar, Pakistan, they have fallen into the debt trap of the China. So we need to counter this. So we need to have a more bilateral engagement with these countries so as to improve our influence, not directly the influence. We have to gather the goodwill of these countries. So we will have the support to counter the China. They will help us in the time when we are in the need. So this second option is that we have to engage with these countries, and we have to sign some treaties with them. Like the 1950s, we have signed the Treaty of Friendship with the Bhutan, and we have revamped in the 2007. So Bhutan has been the close ally of India since age immemorial. So, but Nepal and Sri Lanka, they are slowly drifting towards the China. So this needs to be countered. And the third thing is that we have to take up the Tibet issue. Already Dalai Lama, they have a Tibetan government in India in exile. So we need to take up this issue in the global platform. So these we have to go against the narrative of this one China policy. So the Taiwan issue, the Tibet issue, we need to keep a check over the China and its growing image in the region. And there's also this Uyghur Muslim in the Xinjiang provinces. We have to take up this issue because there is really human rights violation has been taking place, and this is not the democratic area where people come out and vent out their issues. So India, being a responsible power in the region, we need to take up this issue into the world global platform. So